We thought the days of badge re-engineering were behind us because cars based on the same platform looked and felt significantly different. But it looks like those days are back because apart from the grill mesh that you have here, the pattern of the grill mesh, this long slat, the Suzuki badging, and some tinkering around with the headlamps and tail lamps, this is the spitting image of the Innova Hycross, and we can't really get our heads around that. View it in profile and the similarities just stand out. It's no different on the engine front either. As you can see on your screens, the engine specifications are the same, there's no difference there. But the only difference here is that the Invicto is available with the strong hybrid only. There are no other variants on offer. And that decision stems from the fact that 46% of the bookings that Toyota has received have come from the strong hybrid version. Very interesting. So, a lot of people actually going in for strong hybrids. Now, let me talk about this eCVT a bit, because that is the only gearbox available with the Invicto. It's not ideal, but given the situation, it is kind of alright. I don't know how else to put it, because it's great if you're on a highway and cruising around, but when you want that power, or when you want to overtake, when you want that power, you have to give it a second, because the rubber band effect of the CVT has not been countered yet. It still waits, watches, and then moves ahead. That's the way it works. So don't expect big things from the eCVT. It takes a little bit of time to react. In fact, even in the sports mode that this car has 3 modes on offer. In the sport mode too, it takes a second once you put your foot down. So we never expected it to be sporty. So, does it drive any differently than the Hycross? There is a subtle difference in the way this one drives, because it has 17-inch wheels. Now the Innova Hycross gets 18 inches in the top end variant, but this one does not. This one sticks to 17 inches. And though the width of the tire is a little bigger than the one in the Innova Hycross, that makes a lot of difference, especially on roads like this. There's decent amount of grip, and there is decent amount of traction that you get on roads. In fact, it does even well on bad roads, and there is less tire noise that comes out of the car. The only problem is that when you view this car overall, the tires look really tiny, and that's the only difference it makes. Now, they also help in fuel efficiency. So anything above 20 kilometers per liter in this category is brilliant. So the Invicto claimed fuel efficiency is around 23 kilometers per liter. So you know what? It makes a lot of difference. These subtle changes, these small, minute things go a long way. Now, as far as suspension goes, the suspension setting is on the harder side, and you feel a little kickback when you go through bad roads, but it's not that bad. There is, of course, body roll, and well, in a car this size, it's very difficult to avoid, or it might affect some of the passengers in the car. But the travel of the suspension is not long, and hence the lateral movement in the car is not that pronounced. The ride quality is actually pretty good. Well, it was even good in the Hycross, frankly. A lot to like then. It's spacious on the inside, and there are a lot of features available too for you. This 10-inch display, in fact, is pretty intuitive. It's big, it's very clear, and it stands upright as well, and pretty intuitive as well, though there is a slight delay when you want things to get rolling. You get a 360-degree camera, and you have all the instruments right here at your disposal, very ergonomically placed, so come in extremely handy. Now, on the features list, there's ventilated seats, there's a panoramic sunroof, and wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a lot more that this thing offers. Going to the instrument cluster, it's a digital and analog mix. It's a 7-inch digital cluster, and the rest is all analog. Now, in a car that costs around 25 lakh rupees, you kind of want some digitization there, and that, according to me, is a miss. But the bigger miss is that this car does not get wireless charging. That's a big miss.
We wish Maruti Suzuki would have focused on getting the right mix of features, because certain features could have been part of standard equipment, like the tire pressure monitoring system, seatbelt reminder for the second row, and even wireless Apple CarPlay. But they are not. What you can't fault it for, though, is the ample space it has to offer.
Now, the rear seat of the Invicto is an interesting place to be in, because there is just so much space on offer. You can, of course, adjust this front and back how much ever you want to, so there is good enough space. Now, this is available in both 7-seater and 8-seater options, so there will be a bench for the 8-seater model. Interestingly, there's good amount of knee room that you get, decent amount of headroom. Could have done better here, but that's all right. You get rear AC vents, you get a tray like this with a decent amount of storage, and you of course get charging ports as well. Now, because of this large grass area, there is good amount of space in the car, and yes, it is a big car after all, so that sense of space is very evident. But at the rear, you don't get enough space, so putting in a couple of adults there is going to be a problem. So pre-teens, teens, or even children will be very happy there. The only problem is the boot space. If 7 people or 8 people are traveling in this car, that boot cannot accommodate luggage beyond 2 people.
The boot space is a paltry 300 liters with all the seats up, and it can be extended to 991 liters. But in a car as big as this one, there are usually a lot of people joining in, right? On the safety front, Maruti has nailed it, providing everything you want. 6 airbags, ABS with EBD, vehicle stability control are among the standard features. But it has given ADAS a miss, which we feel is not a big deal given the competitive price point. Priced between 24,79,000 rupees to 28,42,000 rupees, it isn't cheap either, though it's cheaper than the Hycross variant to variant. But it's the most expensive Maruti Suzuki money can buy, and the price is not the only thing that will make you think twice before buying the Invicto. While the Toyota Innova Hycross carries a close to 1 year waiting period, the allocation for Maruti Suzuki has to go up to meet the demand. The Invicto already has 6,800 bookings to its name, and by what I have been told, to fulfill this order, Maruti Suzuki could start with a waiting period of 1 year, which is a dampener for the consumers. But Maruti Suzuki could have been a bit more original with this car because it needed that touch of luxury which the company could have provided, given how well it knows its customers.